Chapter 7, Part 2. All of us in the community know and enjoy Asher, the, sh- the chief, the chief elder began. Asher grinned and scratched one leg with the other foot. The audience chuckled softly. When the committee began to consider Asher's assignment, she went on. There were some possibilities that were immediately discarded, some that would clearly not have been right for Asha. For example, she said, smiling, we did not consider for an instant designing Asha an instructor of streets. The audience howled with laughter. Asha laughed too, looking sheepish, but pleased at the special attention. The instructor of streets were in charge of the acquisition 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 of correct language. In fact, the sheep elder continued, chuckling a little herself. We even gave a little thought to some retroactive chastisement for the one who had been Ash's instructor of trees so long ago. At the meeting where Asher was discussed, we retold many of the stories that we all remembered from his days of language acquisition. Especially, she said, chuckling, the difference between snack and smack. Remember, Asha? Asha nodded ruefully, and the audience laughed aloud. Jonas did too. He remembered, though, he had been only a stray at the time himself. The punishment used for small children was a regulated system of smack with a discipline wand, a thin, flexible weapon that stung painfully when it was wielded. The childcare specialists were trained very carefully in this discipline method. A quick smack across the hands of a bit of minor misbehavior, three sharper smacks on the bare legs for a second offense. Poor Asher, who always talked too fast and mixed up words, even as a toddler. As a three, eager for his juice and crackers at snack time, he one day said snack instead of snack as he stood waiting in line for the morning's treat. Jonas remembered it clearly. He could still see little Asher wiggling and impatient in the line. He remembered the cheerful voice call out, I want my snack. The other three, including Jonas, had laughed nervously. Snack, they corrected. You meant snack, Asher, but the mistake had been made. A precision of language was one of the most important tasks of small children. Asher had asked for a smack. The discipline wand in the hand of the childcare worker whistled as it came down across Asher's hand. Asher whispered, crinked, and cracked himself instantly. Snack, he whispered. But the more but the next morning he had done it again, and again the following week. He couldn't seem to stop, though for each lapse the discipline plane one came again. As escalating to a series of painful lashes that left marks on Ash's leg. Eventually, for a period of time, Asher stopped talking altogether when he was 3. For a while, the sheep elder said, relating the story, "We had a silent Asher, but he learned." She turned to him with a smile. When he began to talk again, it was with greater precision. And now his lapses are very few. His corrections and apologies are very prompt, and his good humor is unfailing. The audience murmured in agreement. Asha's cheerful disposition was well known throughout the community. Asha, she lifted her voice to make the official announcement. "We have given you the assignment of Assistant Director of Recreation." She clipped on his new badge as he stood beside her, beaming. Then he turned and left the stage as the audience cheered. When he had taken his seat again, the sheep elder looked down at him and said the words that she had said now 4 times and would say to each new 12. Somehow she gave a special meaning for each of them. "Asha," she said, "thank you for your childhood." The assignments continued, and Jonas watched and listened, relieved now by the wonderful assignment his best friend had been given. But he was more and more apprehensive as his own approached. Now the new 12s in the row ahead had all received their badges. They were fingering them as they sat, and Jonas knew that each one was thinking about the training that lay ahead. For some, one studious male had been selected as doctor, a female as engineer, and another for law and justice. It would be years of hard work and study. Others, like laborers and birth mothers, would have a much shorter training period. 18, Fiona, on his lap, was cold. Jonas knew she must be nervous, but Fiona was a calm female. She had been sitting quietly, serenely, throughout the ceremony. Even the pause, though enthusiastic, seemed ceremony. When Fiona was given the important assignment of caretaker of the old, it was perfect for such a sensitive, gentle girl, and her smile was satisfied and pleased when she took her seat beside him again. Jonas prepared himself to walk to the stage when the applause ended and the sheep elder picked up the next folder and looked down the group to call forward the next new 12. He was calm now that his turn had come. He took a deep breath, and smoothed his hair and his hand. 20, he heard her voice say clearly. "Fiera." She skipped me, John thought, stunned. Had he heard wrong? No. There was a certain hush in the crowd, and he knew that the entire community realized that the sheep elder had moved from 18 to 20, leaving a gap. On his right, Pierre, with a startled look, rose from his seat and moved to the stage. A mistake. She made a mistake. But Jonas knew, even as he had the thought, that she hadn't. The sheep elder made no mistakes. Not at the ceremony of 12. He felt dizzy and couldn't focus his attention. He didn't hear what excitement Fiara received, and was only dimly aware of the applause as the boy returned, wearing his new badge. Then 21, then 22. The numbers continued in order. Jonas said days. As they moved into the 30s and then 40s, near the end, each time, at each announcement, his head jumped for a moment, and he thought, perhaps now she would call his name. Had he received forgotten his own number? No, he had always been 19. He was sitting in the seat marked 19. But she had skipped me. He saw the others in his group glanced at him, embarrassed, and then avert their eyes quickly. He saw a worried look on the face of his group leader. He hunched his shoulder and tried to make himself smaller in the seat. He wanted to disappear, to fade away, not to exist. He didn't dare to turn and find his parents in the crowd. He couldn't bear to see their faces darkened with shame. Jonas bowed his head and searched through his mind. What had he done wrong?